Hello, I'm Stephen Orvis, and in this video, I'm talking about how you can fund business acquisitions working in the smaller business space. The first one is fairly obvious in cash. If you have the money, you can just go buy it. It's like real estate. If you have the cash, quite often they can get deals done faster. It's just more sure. There's less hoops to jump through. You're very much in control of the process. Unfortunately, it means that you won't have a bank looking at it and saying, "Oh, this is a bad idea." So pros and cons there, but cash definitely has some of the same advantages that real estate has. So for the rest of us that may not have enough cash to buy the business outright, you have a few other options. One of them is ROBS, and this rollover is business startups. Basically, it means you can take your retirement account, have an LLC that holds it, and then you can buy the shares from the retirement account and then have the money for the small business, which could be an acquisition or a startup. And then you have to account how the value of the shares bought, and then you have to count the value of the shares when they go back into the retirement account. It gets complex. There's companies that can help you do this and have better explanations of it. I think there's a slight risk too that you have to do it just perfect, otherwise the IRS might not like you. But it seems like there is some official documentation on this on the IRS's website, so definitely a thing to go read and research if that's of interest to you. Another way is investing with partners. If you want money, ask for advice. If you want advice, go ask for money, is one of the sayings I've heard. And so partners can be a great way to get money for an investment, and also advice too. You get the expertise when you're working together with people, and they may have deals you don't have, so that can be a great way to expand your investing journey. Obvious one, SBA loan. A lot of people will talk about these and use these. There's some nuances to it. Typically, your down payment is 15%, but that can change based on the bank. You can use seller financing to take some of that 15% away with some caveats on how you do it, such as if you do more than 5%, there's a 2-year holdback for the seller financing, but you can use a forgivable note and then the holdback doesn't apply. Real estate, your loan amortization can change up to 25 years versus being just a 10-year note, or if it's some mix of real estate uh, where the real estate is less than 50% of the value. If there's some mix of real estate and business there, it'll be some formula between that 10 and 25-year mark. So it's quite common for that 5% seller financing in this market. I've been talking to some different banks that's pretty normal now. So chances are you can drop your down payment down slightly, which is a bit of an advantage over real estate where you're going to be looking at your full 20% or more if you can't be co-signing for that loan. And so this does have an advantage of real estate investing because you can get these lower down payments and be having a much greater return on the money that you put in. Some banks in my area, in the Pittsburgh region, Live Oaks, which is quite famous across the country, and then First Commonwealth Bank was another one I found out. And then that leads us to the next one, which is conventional business loans. So another bank in my area, S&T Bank, didn't have SBA loans, but they do conventional loans. So they might be an option. Probably they're not going to be as good of an option as SBA loans, because the whole point of that is it lets banks take on risks that they wouldn't otherwise take on. So you buying a business and not knowing what you're doing, and the government's saying, "Hey, I'll take the bill if you mess up." But it is an option, and there may be cases where it might make sense or might be the only option. So those are the main ways that people find money to fund their business acquisition deal: cash, ROBS, investing with partners, SBA loans, and conventional business loans.